Coach will start with an opening statement, and then we'll go into questions. If you please raise your hand.
Well, certainly wasn't what I expected, and just really proud of our team. You know, we're finding different ways to win games. Obviously, I think first, just a credit to DJ and to Auburn for, showing up and playing a great game. And I thought their quarterback played lights out. I thought offensively they found a rhythm. Defensively, they're really challenging. They forced us to adjust kind of our personality and our identity. But I've got a really resilient team, and for the start to go the way it did, I never felt like the sideline ever lagged energy. I never felt like a unit took the field that wasn't expecting to come up with a big play or a stop. And I'm really proud of those guys. And thought the crowd was great. I appreciate everyone that showed up. That east side of the stadium is starting to get a little more black and gold in it, which is good to see. I think the students are so consistent in their support, and that's so appreciated. But it feels like we're growing something here, which is exciting. And what is there to say about Diego Pavia? I mean, the guy took the game over. And again, I've said it at this podium before, but in our minds, he's the best player in the country. He found a way to win the game for us tonight. I credit Tim Beck too, but I mean, Diego made it happen. I thought our receivers had an incredible day, and tight ends obviously too. And defense came up with the last two stops, and I think that can't be missed on a day where the story is offense. Our defense had my back on the 4th and 1 call, and got us out of the Hail Mary situation there to end regulation, and then came up with that final stop when we needed it. And I think I've got a psychologically mature team. And these guys are never daunted. The moment's never too big for them. They're never down. They stay focused, and they found a way to gut out a win on a tough night. So I'm proud of them, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Teresa?
Clark, you mentioned Diego. Is there anything he can do to surprise you at this point? I think 489 combined yards, and he just keeps finding a ways, aside from the 4th and 1, to make the plays that you have to have in these games.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by anything. I think when the ball's in his hands, we have a chance, and so it's just this confidence that, when he's back there and, we get the ball back to him, we're going to win. And we talked about that at halftime. I felt like the two possessions leading into half were big for our defense. There were 2 field goals. One was off the turnover. One was on the final, the final possession there. And that was big just because we kind of got our cleats in the ground finally. But then, coming back out, it was just about how do we generate a stop and eliminate points and get the ball to our offense, because the feeling was that we kind of had gotten some tempo going at the end of the first half, and maybe that was going to be the formula, that was going to be the answer. And sure enough, we got the 3 and out to come out in the second half. We drive down and score a touchdown. And, I mean, by my count, we had 4 possessions on both sides of the ball in the third quarter. I think the last offensive possession ended in the fourth quarter, like in the first minute. But that never happens at Vanderbilt. That's not who we are. But we needed to adjust our approach to win a game, and we did that. And I think that says a lot about our staff. It says a lot about our team, and certainly Diego leads the way in that respect.
We'll go Julian and then Gentry.
Clark, you mentioned the psychologically mature team that you have. At this time of year, is it difficult to ignore the playoff talk?
Well, we don't. I mean, we don't ignore that. We embrace it. I mean, not even embrace it. I mean, that's our talk. Like, we own that because we've talked about it since January 7th. So I don't. That's something we embrace and we're striving for. And I said this to the team today in the hotel. I mean, that we're out of opportunities. Everything's at stake. and the mission's winning. So, if at some point we're dealt a blow, and we'll still be on mission. But until otherwise, we're aiming for those playoffs, and that's important to us. Right now, it's going to be have the best bye week we've ever had. Let's get freshened up and get rested. Then we'll shift our attention to Kentucky, and obviously you've got a two game stretch run here at the end to close it out. But yeah, we own those words.
Gentry.
Clark, 2 questions, if y'all allow. What went into the decision to not kick the field goal there on that 4th down, and also how much different were they offensively without since Hugh Freeze wasn't there? And why did it give you guys so much trouble? And I only ask given the fact they'd struggled a lot offensively this season.
You asking 2 questions like that, you run the risk of me avoiding the first one, but I'm not going to do that. Because I'm like, it feels good to get a question about like, hey, I made a decision and it didn't work out the way we wanted it, and that happens. But they had used all their timeouts. It was 4th and 1. It was a really tight one, and I mean, obviously, I've got all the confidence in Brock Taylor. It felt like we were going to convert and end the game in regulation, and we were going to drive down. It's a slide of 5 situation. We won't score a touchdown there. We'll kneel the ball out and kick a field goal to win it. I did not want to return possession because of what you just said. I felt like offensively they had a lot of rhythm, and so in my mind, if it had been 4th and 2 or anything other than that tight one, we would have kicked it and kicked off and played defense. But I wanted to give our guys a chance to convert. We didn't, and fortunately, the defense had my back in the game 2 minute, and then obviously in overtime too. And we're not risk averse. I think to win games, you got to put the ball in the hands of your playmakers. We did that in that situation. We just came up short, and fortunately, we were able to gut it out at the end. To the second part of your question, I thought they did a really nice job. Obviously, the quarterback played really well. I thought formationally they were a little different. They were using tempo and empty to get us into checks and then motion it back out of empty. They challenged us. I thought there was some sloppiness we need to get organized on defense, and I'm not saying that. Some of it was really good play by them, but there were times where I felt like there were chunks and we were out of position, or we didn't all have the same call, and that kind of stuff drives me crazy. It's sloppy, and I communicated that at halftime. I felt like we came out in the second half and played with a little more confidence. It still was imperfect, but that is a very skilled offensive football team. And I thought they played as well as they've played at the quarterback position and in their front. And his ability to extend and find routes, his ability to extend and run the ball hurt us. And I just felt like, sometimes in the first half we were chasing it down. But there's elements of that we'll control that we need to address, and that starts with me and the coaching staff. So we can play with more consistency, and there's elements that you got to give them credit. But I think for me, the overarching feeling I have is just, we were here a couple weeks ago and played a game, that was a defensive gridlock against Missouri, and we won it. Tonight we were on the freeway, scoring points all over the place. We found a way to win this one. I think that's a testament to our adaptability, and it was the offense's day to day, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, you guys had 2 receivers, Trey Richardson and Eli Stowers, both go for over 100 yards tonight. Just what did you make of their performances? And it seemed like you guys had a lot of explosive plays, particularly in the passing game. So how do you view those, I guess?
Tempo helped us, spreading them out in the second half. I thought we got their defense on the heels, and that opened some guys up. Eli, first tight end in program history with back-to-back 100-yard gains, first tight end in program history with 10-plus catches. Trey, I think, had 123 on 3 catches, 124 on 3 catches and a touchdown. I mean, that's really explosive. The guy, to me, though, that also needs credit is Junior Sherrill. He had 75 in a touchdown, but some huge moments for him, huge catches, and also just what he does physically on the perimeter. I mean, that is a different guy. I challenged him this week, and I was pleased that he responded. So Diego makes it go. Those guys made plays on the ball in critical moments. You can't say enough about them, and I'm really happy with our wide receivers, the performance. Richie Hoskins had a couple great catches too. I mean, those guys really stepped up in moments where we needed them to. Proud of them.
Aria and Joey.
You know, with a couple weeks in a row where the defensive performance has not been as good, is there anything over the bye week that schematically that you guys are gonna look at doing to try to fix that?
Yeah. I mean, we'll certainly look to evolve. Hey, it's less about creating new things. It's more about like what have we done well. Sometimes there's too much on the sheet. Sometimes we're carrying a call over that we need to eliminate. I mean, but I want to stop short of turning this into a negative response, because that defense stood tall when they needed to and won tonight for us. We've played against two really skilled offenses, and we haven't necessarily played to our standard, but those guys found a way to win tonight. We'll make our adjustments and look to focus on the things that we do well, eliminate things we don't, keep this thing moving forward. We'll probably do a little less work this week, honestly, just because it's so late in the season. So maybe a couple of practice opportunities rather than 3. And we'll get to work next Sunday on Kentucky.
Joey, Joe, and finish up with Graham.
Eli Stowers took that big hit over the middle and then goes on the sideline for one play, comes back in the game, pops up, I guess goes back into the fight. You would say, was that kind of a microcosm of what it took to get it done today?
It was. He took a bunch of hits, and he's a warrior, and he's tough, and I'm just in awe of him, and I think what he's doing there is absolutely a representation of Vanderbilt football. That's who we are. So he gutted it out and helped us win a big game.
Joe, and then we'll finish up with Graham.
I'm actually going to try 2 also,
Okay.
if that's
You
okay.
and
Quick one.
Gentry. You
Yeah.
guys
So
are
first one
vets.
on the tempo, is that as fast as you guys have gone, especially on that one drive when you got the coverage bust? Is that as fast as you guys have executed tempo in a game? And then the other one is on the last play. It looked like CJ was lined up on the line and then he dropped back.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that threw the quarterback off on that play?
So we practice. It's a period we call NASCAR, and we do it every week. This week we did it twice, not because we anticipated the game going like that. It keeps us in rhythm, and this is where the offense is going to line it up and snap. They're using their burst menu. They're going to line it up and snap it as fast as they can, and they'll go for 4 reps, and then the next group comes on. And it's the way we start practice. It's kept us fresh, and it gives us the ability to rep those calls. And so we haven't had to use it. I mean, we've used it at times, here and there, but tonight we needed it to win the game. And I think the time we put into that in practice showed up for us tonight. That probably is the fastest we've gone this season, especially in back-to-back drives, but something we're really accustomed to doing in the way we train. The final play, we knew, obviously, number 8 had given us problems on the touchdown and 2-point conversion. He's a really good player, and Steve called a defense that allowed for doubles, and it was going to show pressure early. We wanted to try to kind of get them into a situation where they're throwing what they believe is a one-on-one shot, and safeties bailed out, and CJ doubled number 8, and I felt like it forced the quarterback to clutch, and then he sent it long. So good call, well executed, good heads up by CJ, knowing who was to his side, and I think it was Jordan Matthews over there did a nice job as well.
We'll finish up with Graham.
Yeah, Coach, you guys had over 300 yards after halftime. Just schematically from Auburn's defense, what did you see that allowed your offense to succeed so well and score almost seemingly at will after halftime?
I think that first of all, that is a really good defensive box, and maybe the best we played in terms of the middle of their defense. So and they made big plays and big moments too. I mean, it was, for us, those short yardage situations and the goal line situations, those were hard yards for us. But what helped us there was the tempo, and spreading them out and getting them on their heels gave us space. And when we got space, Diego did a great job attacking it. I thought a couple times we were able to puncture their pass rush lanes for chunk gains. And again, those things, you get the opponent on their heels. I felt like we were able to kind of wear them out a little bit. And, that only works when you execute, and we executed, and then it led to a couple times where we had guys cut loose, and Diego found them, and we capitalized. So it's just good adaptability by our offensive staff, our offensive players, and we found a way to win it. So
Thanks, everybody.
thank you guys, appreciate it.